I'm still reporting on the ongoing coup d'etat against America. According to Joe diGenova, the former U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, sometimes known as Washington, D.C., the special prosecutor for the Biden cabal, Jack Smith, is hiding exculpatory information from the jury in President Trump's hush money trial in New York City. The trial judge in Trump's hush money trial, Judge Juan Merchan, has refused to recuse himself as the trial judge in the case, despite the fact that his daughter has made tens of millions of dollars as a Democrat fundraiser in the past year. Judge Merchan has placed a gag order on Trump from making comments concerning what's going on inside that New York courtroom. As Trump put it on Truth Social 3 days ago, the gag order imposed on me, a political candidate running for the highest office in the land, is totally unconstitutional. Nothing like this has ever happened before. The conflicted judge's friends and party members can say whatever they want about me, but I am not allowed to respond. The trial is rigged and should never have been allowed to take place on a charge that virtually every legal scholar and expert say is bogus. There is no crime. This is a political witch hunt, election interference. Joe diGenova's comments came during an interview on Thursday evening on Rob Schmidt's news show on Newsmax. Schmidt prefaced the interview with other breaking news on Trump's Florida case involving secret documents, where the government has issued a heavily redacted version of the search warrant that allowed the government to raid Trump's home in Florida in the middle of the night. The downtown area of New York City typically votes 90 to 95% Democrat.
Merchan holding back on punishing Trump for breaking the gag order because he knows the optics of doing that would be so awful, and everything already looks awful. He knows it is outrageous to choose a jury from a 90% anti-Trump pool. He knows this case should be sent somewhere like Ohio. He knows it's crazy to scold the president for criticizing the jury after it came out of a pool like this. He knows how bad it all looks. They know they can't do anything. They have to let the man speak because of what they've done to him. Joe diGenova was a U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. He joins me now along with Seamus Bruner, who investigates government corruption. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Joe, the redactions show the Biden's White House counsel was involved in the document drama as it was escalated to a criminal matter. How do you see this? What's your reaction?
I see it as exactly what all of us have known from the beginning, that this is a manufactured prosecution constructed out of whole cloth. The cooperation between the archives, the White House, and the Justice Department is beyond unseemly. I was really fascinated over the weekend when Bill Barr said he was going to vote for Trump, right, but he said something else that's much more important. He described his successor, Merrick Garland, as a thug. Can you imagine? Bill Barr said that the people going after Donald Trump are thugs. That includes Alvin Bragg, that includes Letitia James and Merrick Garland. And what we saw in that unredacted piece of correspondence with Sue from the White House counsel's office was a massive conspiracy to destroy Donald Trump.
It's so true. And again, just to reemphasize the disdain that Bill Barr has for Trump to make those comments just puts so much oomph behind them. Seamus, Jack Smith's legal team argued that the materials should have remained redacted in order to protect witnesses. And we see this pattern. They exploit this method of redaction to cover up and conceal whatever abuses of power that they're administering here, and then they claim that it's to protect witnesses. What witnesses would have been protected if we didn't know what we just figured out?
Well, yeah, Rob, you're exactly right. Jack Smith has nothing else to say. This is the cover-up. They are trying to cover up. And I'm not sure that the cover-up is worse than the crime in this case, because this goes beyond election interference. This coordination between the National Archives, the Biden White House counsel's office, the DOJ and the FBI. This is a crime of the highest order. This goes beyond interference in an election. This is rigging the election. They are trying to rig the election. They are trying to take out their number one opponent. This is Soviet-style tactics. You can't, the hyperbole isn't good enough. This is extreme. It needs to be stopped. Jack Smith needs to be investigated, and the special counsel investigation needs to be disbanded.
Yeah. Joe, another line from the now unredacted documents I wanted to show you. I want to see what you make of this. It says, in late September 2021, without disclosing that the National Archives had already drafted a referral letter and contacted DOJ, Deputy White House Counsel Jonathan Su asked one of President Trump's Presidential Records Act representatives to permit somebody who is person 40 to access notes from the Trump administration relating to records handling. I don't know if person 40 is from DOJ, but that confuses me. When you read that, what do you see?
It shows cooperation. It shows interference by the White House counsel's office in a matter that they should have nothing to do with. But they were clearly working with DOJ and communicating behind the scenes without telling the archives to get something done to get Donald Trump indicted. And by the way, what they were doing, in my opinion, is a conspiracy to deny Donald Trump his civil rights. I think one of the first things Trump should do after he finds an attorney general, if he's lucky enough to be elected, is impanel a special grand jury to investigate Jack Smith, Mr. Su, and everybody else involved in the process of the referral from the archives. I believe crimes were committed during that process, and they need to be investigated. And I volunteer.
Yeah. It'll be funny to watch everybody try and scream fascism when Trump tries to investigate what they've just done to him for the last couple of years. Seamus, where do you think? I mean, it seems like the judge in the Florida case, at least, is somewhat of a straight shooter and is playing it somewhat down the line. Which, you know, what will happen with what we've learned today and what she's unmasked here by unredacting these documents?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Judge Eileen Cannon is a hero for revealing what's going on here. I mean, we've all sort of known intuitively that by trying to bury Donald Trump under the prison, there's something wrong going on. Now we have the smoking gun evidence that Crossfire Hurricane was nothing on Plasmic Echo. Plasmic Echo is the new Crossfire Hurricane, and this is totally reeks of corruption. It's Soviet-style tactics. And I mean, the more we learn, the worse it gets.
And Joe, does this go anywhere now that this has been revealed? Is there any move that can be made? Is there going to be an appeal filed based on this?
No, I think what they have to do is they have to use it in front of Judge Cannon to get more information, to file more motions. And I don't think there's any way this case goes to trial before the election in light of the stuff that's being revealed, because they can file additional motions seeking just more evidence about this. It's clear that Jack Smith is doing something that a prosecutor must never do. He's hiding exculpatory information from the defense.
I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good